Okay, everybody, welcome to the webinar today on NAICS codes and SBA's Dynamic Small Business Search, presented by our own Procurement Technical Assistance Center, or PTAC, specialist, Marie Mishker. I'm Allie Stevens, Training and Marketing Coordinator with the Florida SBDC here at UNF. Just a friendly reminder, in case you are unfamiliar with us, SBDC or PTAC, we are both part of a statewide network, and our mission is to help your small businesses grow and succeed. And we do this by offering training and webinars like the one you're on today, but also by providing no-cost confidential consulting on topics spanning all aspects of business management and growth: government contracting, marketing plans, cash flow, business planning, all of it. I will put our contact info in the chat box for your reference. The number to call on our website is in there, and it'll also be sent out in an email that's going out later after the close of the webinar. So, quick housekeeping. If you have any questions, please type them into the questions section of your control panel, and we will address them throughout and at the end of the presentation. There's no chat box function, so anything you want to ask us or let us know, just type it in the question section. This is recording, so you'll get a link to the recording in that follow-up email that's going out once this event is done. And in that email, again, like I mentioned, there's going to be follow-up links if you want to reach out to Marie or make an appointment with one of our consultants, or sign up for more training. It's all going to be in that follow-up email along with a survey. Let us know your thoughts, how you thought it went, topic suggestions. We live and breathe by our evaluations from you guys to help us continually put on good programs and good training events. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our presenter today, Marie. Take it away.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Today's topic is going to be on NAICS codes and the Dynamic Small Business Search. It's going to go by very quickly, and a couple things. The slides will be available for all of the people attending, so don't panic when you say, I want to get the data off of that slide. So the slides are going to be available. And so without further ado, I think I'm just going to jump right in here. So today's topics that I want to cover are what are NAICS codes and how do you search for your NAICS code. You've started your business and now you're looking at going into the government market sector. Well, how do I go about searching for the NAICS codes and selecting one that's the most appropriate for me? And then this all ties in with your SAM profile that you will also set up, and then your dynamic small business search, which is kind of the last button in your SAM profile with regards to setup. And so we're going to also talk about the dynamic small business search database, which is owned and operated by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. But it's important for you to know who uses the DSBS and how they use it, and why it's important to ensure that your profile within the Dynamic Small Business Search is actually updated and enhanced, because it helps you be visible to contracting officers and small business advocates. So NAICS codes, what are they? They're a standard that's actually used by the federal statistical agencies in classifying business establishments. The purpose is, what kind of businesses are in business, how are they doing business, and they're utilized by the Census Bureau. So you'll see when we go to the website, the NAICS website, it's actually operated by the Census Bureau, and it's to track how industries are doing within the United States. NAICS codes are also structured so that they can also be utilized by Mexico and also Canada. So there is the whole North American scene with regards to NAICS code structure. So the NAICS code is a 2 through 6 digit hierarchical classification system. And so it has 5 levels of detail, which helps you when you're searching for your NAICS code. And each digit gets progressively narrower with respect to their categories. And you'll see this when I do the live demo. So this is a wonderful page that kind of highlights the NAICS codes and the NAICS code structures. This is actually what we're going to be doing live here today, is we're going to actually search and through keywords and then also through the table. So I'm going to be teaching you how to fish today in today's class. It's not just going to be Marie talking head. I want you to see the website. I want you to be able to know how to go about searching for your particular NAICS code. This all, again, falls in line. NAICS codes, keywords, dynamic small business search, and SAM registration all correlate together. They're all unified. And so it's important that you know what NAICS codes is appropriate for your business. So your primary NAICS code is your primary business activity. That's something that's important to keep in mind. And you'll see the first 2 digits of the NAICS code is the economic sector, the third is the subsector, fourth is your industry group, and fifth is industry, and the 6th code is national. Keep in mind what I had previously said. It's the 5-digit NAICS code compares codes from 3 countries, the US, Canada, and Mexico. The 6th digit allows for any of these countries with regards to country-specific detail. A NAICS code is 6 digits in length, so that is what qualifies as a valid NAICS code. So, oops, I'm going to go back here. So, don't want to jump the gun here. So what everyone should be seeing now, I'm going to enlarge this so it's a little larger for everyone to see, is the NAICS code page. And again, don't panic. I'm going to be providing all of the links that we're referencing today. So those are in the presentation. So when you start looking for your NAICS code, you're going to come to the NAICS website or to the web page. And you'll start out by saying, I don't even know where to go, Marie. I don't even know what to do. You know, it's asking for a NAICS search. This is a wonderful website in that they have provided reference files. So you can actually click on the 2017 link. And here you see overarching NAICS codes, the first 2 segments, the details. Is your company within agriculture, mining, utilities, construction, manufacturing? And you can go down the list and you can see an overarching classification. Let's say that you're in utilities. You say, well, you know what? I do solar panel sales. I'm in utilities. So you can click on 22, and then you can come down the list, and you can say, okay, well, what looks applicable with regards to solar? Oh, this perhaps may be something that's applicable to me. When you click on the link, what happens is you then see a description with regards to what solar electric power generation is. It's establishments primarily engaged in operating solar electric power generation facilities. Are you a facility? That may not be a true fit for me. So then what are my other options, Marie? If I'm selling solar panels and I'm not quite sure if I'm a total utility or not, you can actually come over here to your keyword, and we can type in a keyword of solar. So let's say I do sell solar panels. Okay. Do I have a solar farm? Now we're coming across other potential operations, other solar panel installation. Oh, I sell and I install. You know what? This may be applicable for me. So I'm going to click on that hyperlink for that NAICS code number, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see what the description is. That totally fits what I'm doing. So now cross-referencing, you may be able to see other things that are also applicable within your particular arena. Maybe you not only sell solar panels and install, but you also do electrical contracting. Here's another potential: electric power control panel and outlet installation. So often your search will lead to other identifications of other NAICS codes that are applicable for your industry area. Oftentimes what I advise clients, when you first start your business and you're getting ready to do your SAM registration, write down every keyword that is applicable to your business. Just grab your favorite beverage, cup of coffee in the afternoon, your tea, you're up in the middle of the night, hey, you're thinking NAICS codes, right? Go ahead and grab that pad of paper and, you know, we do solar panels. Or let's say, oh, you know what? I do technical services. I'm a translator. I go ahead and I provide translation services. Or I'm a writer. I'm a technical writer. I'm not only a translator, but I'm a technical writer. So now, okay, so where do I go for that? I'm not necessarily sure, where I could fit. I provide professional services. I also, I am somewhat technical. Could I fall within 54? I'm not totally sure. Marie, I'm looking here and I'm not necessarily seeing something that would be applicable for me, even though I think I may fit in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in translation. Oh, I actually do. I provide language services, and I also, so this NAICS code is spot on for what it is I'm doing, and I want to confirm that. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and start picking my different classifications based on that. I do this, but you know what? I also write. I'm a technical writer, so I'm going to type writer. Am I a ghostwriter? I'm an independent technical writer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this particular NAICS code. Freelance individuals who perform artistic productions, but they're also technical writers as well. Would I have found that if I just stayed in 54 and I didn't type my keyword in? Keywords are critical in the identification of your NAICS codes. It's also critical for your dynamic small business search profile, which is the next topic that we're going to be covering. Keywords also help in the development of your capability statement, which is the third, if you want to say, the third leg of the stool with regards to ensuring that your company profile is robust for contracting officers, large primes, or small businesses to find you. So keep in mind that list of NAICS code, or that list of keywords, that list of what it is I do for a company is critical when you first start. Again, when I meet with clients, it's like, write down everything you do. Write down all of the keywords that your company performs. What you're going to start to see when you start developing your keywords and you start seeing the different functions, you will start to see a natural breakout of what it is your company is doing, what kinds of products, what kinds of services you are providing to the community. So now let's go back here. I want to cover one other area, which would be construction. You know, what types of construction services? Am I doing residential construction, remodels? Am I doing industrial? Am I doing commercial? These are different classifications within the construction arena that you want to make sure that you are calling out. Am I dealing with structural, like water? And so you may go ahead, and I'm going to come back here and say, well, I'm just going to type in keywords. I do construction. What's going to come up are different types of construction. But you know what? I do laboratory construction. What happens there? Laboratory construction actually comes up. So you can pick an overarching construction category, but then you can hone in on the types of, you know, the types of construction that you're providing. Again, when you look at the definition, you'll also get ideas for other NAICS codes that may fall in line with the product or service that you are providing. So now let's say you've gone ahead and you have your NAICS codes all identified. And now you're ready to start. You have NAICS codes identified, and you're ready to go ahead and start formulating your dynamic small business search profile. The dynamic small business search profile is the next critical, I will say it's a critical tool which enables contracting officers, small business advocates, and large primes to find you. By FAR regulations, the federal contracting officers are required to use the dynamic small business search profile as part of their marketing research. And so the SBA maintains the dynamic small business search database. And the information you provide when you're registering, your information is in SAM, is used to populate the dynamic small business search. So it's really important, my small business peeps, to make sure that you create a very robust and comprehensive business profile when it comes to the dynamic small business search. Again, it's because that's where the large primes in the government goes to find you. If it's not robust, they're not going to find you. And we're going to go through several examples of this. You'll start to see, you'll have that light bulb moment on how and why it's so important. And the other thing is that you can use the dynamic small business search to locate teaming partners, to go after larger contracts. So that's also an important thing for you to note. My recommendations for businesses is to make sure that you write up your business profile in advance before going into SAM.gov. And you want to, these are the key areas that I have found in working with clients that are often overlooked, but are critical factors that contracting officers and large primes look at. The non-federal government certifications, your capabilities narrative, special equipment materials, here, looky there, that keywords that you were using for regards to your NAICS codes, right? The miscellaneous section, and performance history, we'll talk about that as well. And so when we get into our search, I'm going to be highlighting these areas here, the locations, your government cert, ownerships, NAICS codes, all of this we're going to kind of go over. But the why I wanted to call this out is because this is how you are found, are based on not only these search parameters, but also others. So now let's go to the dynamic small business search. Here's our NAICS. We've got all of our NAICS codes already identified. So now we're at the dynamic small business search page. Whoops, I want to make this larger. So as a supplier diversity advocate at Sandia National Laboratories, we often would get notices from our buyers to say, hey, Marie team, small business team, we need to find a widget, for a particular programmatic area. And so we would come to the dynamic small business search in order to identify and find suppliers. So look at the overarching database on how you can be found. I can go ahead and I can search for you by state, by congressional district, or even within a county within a state. I can even get as finite as a metropolitan statistical area, an area code, or a zip code. If the contracting officer is looking for particular socioeconomic categories, I can also search by those categories. 8A, I can say, yep, the buyer wants to do an 8A set aside, so that's a required certification. Or they are going to do a woman-owned small business set aside. Or it could just be, it's not required at all. They may be looking for hub zones. These, keep in mind, are the federal certifications, not to be confused with state of Florida or state certifications. So dynamic small business search will reflect federal government certifications. Ownership and self-certifications, any minority-owned type of company, any Native American-owned company, a community development, a self-certified SDB, a service-disabled veteran-owned or a veteran-owned, and any self-certified woman-owned. Now you're saying, well, Marie, why are these important? Because when it comes to large prime contractors, having the federal certification is not necessarily a mandate. So when you fill out your SAM registration, it's important that you also read the rules and regs around self-certifying as veteran, woman, minority. Keep in mind, if you are self-certified, you would not be able to participate in a formal federal set-aside contract proposal, such as for women, economically disadvantaged, hub zone, 8A, or service-disabled vet. Those are formal contractual set-aside programs. Now, I can also search for you by NAICS code. I can do one NAICS code, or I can do 3 NAICS codes. So I can search by NAICS code. Oh, looky there. I can also search by keywords, and I can do any combination herein. I can also search by general nature of business, quality assurance standards as well. I can also find you by DUNS number, so I can look up your profile by DUNS and also by your name as well as Cage. And I normally will only, if I'm a contracting officer or a supplier diversity advocate large prime, I'm only going to be looking for active profiles. So what does that mean? It's important that you keep this up to date. So now let's give you a live example. We are now in the throes of fiscal year end, right? And so what happens? This is what happens. Let me just adjust a few screens here. Contracting officer comes down the hall and he knocks on my window and he says, knocks on my door and says, Marie, I have this proposal here. So Noah comes down and says, Noah, the National Oceanic, says, Marie, out of Kansas City, and says, I need a company that will provide financial and forensic accounting services in St. Petersburg, Florida. And here's the NAICS code. Oftentimes, this is all the information we get. Now, there could be a requirement that they say, I want the company to be located within the state of Florida. And I'm like, okay, great. I am going to come down here. I'm going to pick the state of Florida. And I'm going to enter the NAICS code, which the contract is going to be awarded under. And I'm going to see how many companies come up. I'm going to search using that profile. And as the gerbils run, there are 265 within the state of Florida alone that has this NAICS code listed. So now, let me come over here. Other accounting services. Okay, I just want to have a clarification. Looky here. All of these individuals who do not have a capabilities narrative, keep in mind, as a supplier diversity advocate, I most likely have at tops during the fiscal year end, I would say 20 minutes to provide a buyer a list of companies who may be capable. There is no way I am going to click on any of these profiles that do not have a capabilities narrative. That's the short and sweet of it. Now, economic feasibility studies, facility support, janitorial, okay, I'm not sure. Army National Guard, you know, they have some, what does this capability statement or overview say? Well, they have some federal work that they've done. They're kind of highlighting what it is who they've worked for, as well as that. I still don't have time though, you know, to go through 265 profiles. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to keep my state of Florida. I'm definitely going to keep my NAICS. And you know what? They want forensic accounting. I am just going to type in forensic accounting. And I'm going to see what comes back. Oh, I went from 260 some odd companies down to 11 with the keyword of forensic accounting. That is sweet. I love that. So now I have 11. I definitely can get through. Oh, but you know what? I'm really down to 9 because I'm not going to bother. They don't have anything written here. How do I know what they do? Now I have 9 profiles to whip through really fast to see if they're worthy to go on to the contracting officer. And this, small business folk, is how large primes contracting officers find you. I am showing you what we do within the system of finding you. All right. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly, all right here for you to see. Oh, they're self-certified STB. That's great. There's no formal certifications. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Here's the capabilities narrative: attestation, financial audits, forensic accounting, budgeting, forecasting, financial systems. Great. Okay. There's certified public accountant, tax, payroll, accounting services. Oh, they wanted 541219. That's in their profile. I will not forward a referral to a contracting officer if they have designated a specific NAICS code that is not reflected here. Keywords. How did we find this? How did we go from 265 down to 11? Because somewhere in these companies' profiles, they had forensic accounting highlighted in their keywords. Do you now, hopefully you are now seeing why it is critical that you make sure for your particular industry area, you have sound keywords identified, because this is how you are found by the federal contracting officer, the small business advocates at the federal level, as well as large primes and small business advocates. This is how you're found. No past performance, that's okay. As far as it being not listed. Okay, so that's the first one. And then I most likely will also go to their website to see what their website reflects, but we're not going to do that here. I want to highlight some of these profiles so that you can see how individuals are set up. Self-certified disadvantaged women-owned small business, woman-owned. So she is a self-certified woman-owned business. She has not obtained yet her certification in the SBA's program. Again, her capabilities narrative. Wonderful. I love to see this. Special equipment and materials. So she has QuickBooks and Pro Advisor. That is a wonderful thing to have listed. Again, she most likely has in here forensic accounting. That is why she was called up. Litigation support. Let's see, I want to come down here a little bit. And as the gerbils, here we go. Self-certified woman-owned small business. This person graduated from the 8A program in 2010. Special equipment and materials. This is a wonderful add-in. You know, they're ANSI certified, standard of continuing education and training. So that is a wonderful way to utilize your special equipment and materials section. Also nice, nice listing of NAICS codes and keywords. And here, past performance is listed. Now, as a consultant, I will tell you it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. This does let a contracting officer or small business advocate know who you've done work with in the past and what dollar value. Keep in mind, the DSBS can also be used by your competitors to also look at your profile and see who you have also done work with. So it's a personal preference. They've also worked for Northrop Grumman. And so here, let's go back. I want to show you some additional searches. Here's one where I want to go ahead, and the Bureau of Indian Affairs seeks a Native American-owned business to provide plexiglass and installation. And here's the NAICS code. So here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, well, I'm going to list New Mexico because the Bureau of Indian Affairs is there. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to say, it has to be Native American owned, because that's a requirement, a Native American owned business. And again, I have my NAICS code. So I normally will start large. I want to see how many businesses are out there. 238150 is our NAICS code. I have a tribe. And I'm going to go ahead and search using this criteria. I have 9 profiles. That's not bad. And even with the 9, I have 3 that didn't. But you know what? I really want to see. It looks like a lot of these guys are doing, oh, there's somebody who's called out commercial glass. But let me see. You know, I'm going to come down here and I am going to use a keyword of glass. I have one that has glass. So I can go ahead and I can give a contracting officer one. Most likely they want more than one person. So I may not go ahead and do that, but you can see how you go from, you know, 9 down to 1 with regards to searches. All right. So now I'm going to our third demo that I want to go ahead and I want to call out our third example. Veterans Affairs in Ridgeland, Mississippi seeks a service-disabled veteran-owned to provide alarm monitoring, and we have our NAICS code. So here I can search for my service-disabled, let's see, a service-disabled veteran-owned company. And the VA is in Mississippi. So I'm going to select Mississippi and I'm going to use the particular NAICS code of 561621. There are 9 profiles. Of the 9, one has no capabilities. Actually, there's quite a few that do not have capability statements. So let's look at ACE Remedy. Website address complete. Self-certified, disabled, no formal SBA certifications. Wonderful. I love to see this. Non-federal government certifications. Keep in mind during the presentation that one of the key areas that often gets overlooked are non-federal government certifications. These are often industry specific. This information, your SBA federal certifications, comes from the SBA. Your other certifications, your non-federal government certifications, come from you. These are going to be security-related certifications. This particular section, no matter what industry area you are in, would be reflective of the industry certifications that are relevant to your industry. This is a qualification, a distinguishing factor. You want to say what differentiates you from the rest of the pack within your particular industry area is not only federal certifications, but non-federal government certifications as well. Here they have a capabilities narrative that describes their high quality IT services for public and private sectors, highly certified and experienced professionals, world-class reliability, innovation, and security for all information technology services. No special equipment or materials. Most likely, I bet they probably do have some. They just haven't identified them yet. Their particular NAICS codes Now we need to make sure that that 561621 is listed here. It is. And here are the key words that they have. Also, past performance. So now let's look at LRV Associates. Service disabled veteran, no formal certifications, no Fed capabilities, no special, and a lot of NAICS codes, computer systems. It doesn't really give me a flavor for what the company is doing. There's also no web page. So I have no way of knowing what this company is doing or what kinds of products, services they are unless I pick up the phone and call. And if it's fiscal year end and I'm trying to get a pre-qualified list of suppliers to a buyer, I'm not going to have that time. That again is why the capabilities narrative is so critical in ensuring that it highlights what it is you're doing, who you're doing the particular product and service for at a higher level. My recommendation always to clients, after you have your keywords identified, you've honed in on your NAICS codes that are applicable for your particular industry and your company and what it is you're providing. I then want you to come to the dynamic small business search, and I want you to go to the website and I want you to plug in your NAICS codes and your keywords. I want you to find out what companies come back with using those. Go look at their profiles, just like what we're doing, and glean additional keywords that are appropriate for you, as well as descriptors. You can also find potential teaming partners this way as well. Again, self-certified SDB, service disabled veteran, veteran owned. No government certification or non-federal government certifications. And here it looks like they're doing a lot of construction, which is good. Perhaps they also do security construction. Here they have special equipment and materials. So again, this ties in with their construction, right? Access to dirt, rock, gravel, as well as skidsters, bulldozers, tractors. Their construction to manufacturing to service percentages. So their primary is that they pour concrete and foundational, pour concrete foundation instruction. So they most likely have at some point worked within a security arena, and that would be why that they would have the 561621 listed. And then their past performance here. Let's see. So I'm totally not thrilled with all of these. So I would at some point expand, and I would say alarm. I'm going to type in a keyword of alarm and see what comes up. I have 83 profiles on a national basis that are service disabled veteran. And I can tell here, service disabled veteran owned, firm is small business, profile, and the keyword alarm. And so here out of Plano, Texas, I have SAS Security Service Company that actually goes ahead and they design and install and monitor for security. This falls a little more in line with what I think the contracting officer is looking for. Again, they have a website, contact information, email address, their service disabled veteran-owned small business, their capabilities narrative, special equipment. They're in the security arena, and what have they done? They have gone ahead and they have listed Panasonic Harrington, which would be key in that security area, as well as bonding levels, and they definitely are a little more security aligned. Miscellaneous, they are ISO certified. That's also called out. This company would be on my list to provide to the buyer. You can see just by a slight change in keywords, I've kept the same NAICS code. I've kept the if you want to say, classification of service disabled veteran. And by just one different keyword, I get a totally different listing of companies. So it is very, very important when you do your profile that that's why I wanted to take the time to go through these, is that how government contractors and small business advocates, the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, called OSDBU offices, are looking for you. This is how we're doing it. We are coming to the DSBS. We are using the requirements, the specs provided by the buyer or the technical line to find you in the DSBS, and then we, in some cases, may be pre-qualifying you based on what we're seeing here and based on what we see on your website. And then we are providing your information for consideration of the buyer. Small business advocates do not have the final say with regards to who gets the contract. Just to let you know, it is the contracting officer. But you need to be able to put your best foot forward with regards to your company and the qualifications that your company has. Communication systems, and here another wonderful description on what it is they're providing. No special equipment or material. I'd kind of like to know if they have certain types of communication systems. That would be a nice call out to have. Again, they have all of their certifications. So now you have this robust dynamic small business search profile. And so you've got, well, let's go back and think about this. You have your keywords. You have a listing of what it is you do. And you have a basic capabilities narrative written. You have non-federal government certifications outlined, your special equipment outlined, and your keywords and any kind of miscellaneous information. You know what that sets you up for? That now sets you up for the development of your capabilities statement. One thing falls in line with the other. It's all kind of tied to the presentation of your company, not only through the NAICS identification of what industry areas you work in, but also in your dynamic small business profile, your SAM profile. That then leads to capability statement. And we're not going to be talking about that here. I will be covering capability statements in October. And if I'm wrong, Allie is going to jump in and say, no, Marie, it's not scheduled for October. But I do believe we are scheduling it for October. And so this all falls in line. So keywords are critical. And it also, when you go ahead and you write everything up first, again, I will tell clients, when you get ready to do your SAM registration, do a one and done. You know, make sure that you have all of your areas here written. You've done research on your competitor. You've done research in the Dynamic Small Business Search. You know what certifications you are, either self-certified or if you have obtained the federal certifications, those will be listed. You've got all your categories written. You write them in Word, have it all outlined. You're in your SAM. You're registering your company in SAM. It is like almost the last button in your SAM profile. You're ready to just say, yeah, no, I'm ready to just click the last button and go. Stop. Don't do that. Say, yes, I want to update my SBA profile. That's where you come, is then you click yes, and then it's a sweet copy and paste from Word into the system, into the Dynamic Small Business Search SBA system. Save, and then your profile is complete. You can then come back and then review after the system has been updated. So then, Marie, do I ever come back and do I ever modify this? You're going to ask, and I'm going to say yes, because why? Your company grows, your company, you know, changes. It's a breathing, living, I want to say, organism your business is. And so yes, you will come back and you will modify your profile. And so, Allie, I know we've got like about 7 minutes kind of left for the class, and so I wanted to open it up for questions, because if people wanted me to look at their profiles, if they wanted, you know, to be live and on camera that way, I'm happy to do that. Or if they had questions on NAICS codes and wanted a little other pearls, you know, we can go ahead and do that now.
Awesome. Thank you, Marie. Lots of good information. And stop me if you answered this and I may have missed it, but can your business have several NAICS codes?
Yes, your business can have more than one NAICS code. It definitely can. Again, you know, you would have a primary, but then just as when I had mentioned about the author or the tech writer, you know, you can have somebody who is, you know, an author that may do, you know, here it's going to show authors agents. So yes, you can have somebody who, you know, is a writer, you know, for movie screens, and somebody who is a technical writer. And if it's a technical writer, they may also want to include, you know, the 54 series with regards to that as well, which would be, you know, professional technical services, because they're also working in that arena. So definitely, yes, a company can have more than just one NAICS code.
Awesome. Thank you. One more question. If your company is an LLC husband-wife ownership 50-50, can it still be classified as woman-owned?
No, the woman must have majority, must be 51% for the woman, and the woman needs to be, I'll just say it blunt, she needs to be in charge. She needs to be calling the shots. So the woman has to be the decision maker, and she has to be managing the day-to-day operations of the business. That is one of the reasons why self-certified women-owned small businesses went away, is because there was a lot of fraud going on with regards to that particular category. So the women have to be in charge. They have to be managing the day-to-day operations, and they have to have 51% ownership of the company. And that actually is on the SBA website with regards to the requirements of the company, of the woman-owned certification.
Awesome. Thank you. Another question has rolled in. How do you edit your DSBS profile?
So now with the new SAM, you have to go back into SAM, and you have to scroll through all of the requirements. And keep in mind, if you're doing that, again, I would make sure to write everything out you know, in the Word document, if you're going to reword things, if you're going to add NAICS codes or delete NAICS codes, have all of that kind of rewritten before you do that. And then you'll go through the SAM profile. If you're going to add NAICS codes, you would do that also in SAM. And then again, when you get to like the final stage, we want to go ahead and update our, you know, your SBA profile. You're going to say yes, and that's where you would then go ahead and make those changes.
Thank you. I don't see any more questions coming in, but we still have a couple minutes if you want to type them in now. Thank you for these links. And Marie, you said that you'll be sending the presentation to folks?
Right. All of these slides. So here's the helpful links that I was talking about, the census, the DSBS, table of size standards is a little extra tidbit I'm tossing in because people oftentimes will have questions about, you know, well, how do they determine whether somebody is large or small? And the table of size standards is where that's done by the SBA. So keep in mind, NAICS codes comes from the Census Bureau. Remember, in the very beginning stages, why do we have NAICS codes? Because it's a tool used by Commerce, used by the Census Bureau to figure out what kind of industry is going on in the United States, right? Your Congress people are going to, you know, tap on Commerce's door. They're going to tap on, you know, the Census Bureau. Hey, how many construction people are, you know, here, or what's going on within the construction industry, especially when it comes to laws, right? So NAICS are used more than just for, you know, classifying small businesses. It's used, you know, as a tool in many different avenues. And so keep in mind, you know, NAICS has multi-purposes, but when it comes to small businesses, SBA will go ahead and take those NAICS codes and then determine the size. What determines whether you're large or small is either number of employees or revenue dollars based on industry. And that's what this little extra pearl I've tossed in for everyone will cover here as well. That's a whole different class with regards to sizing and things along those lines. So I wanted to keep this class relatively high level, and I wanted people to understand the impact that NAICS and your dynamic small business search profile has. The DSBS, unfortunately, a lot of people don't you know, they don't have a sound understanding of how important and how critical it is. You know, we, as a supplier diversity advocate, that was like my first stop when I wanted to really check out a company, is what does their profile look like? And everyone could see, you know, not only that, but you have websites. Then you can go, if you're looking for a teaming partner, you see what their profile is, you have their website, you can go ahead and you can look at their website and see what it is they're doing. So not only teaming, but sometimes other small businesses want another small business to mentor them. That's also another tool that you can use, right, to help in your decision making. So it's a wonderful, wonderful tool, and unfortunately, I feel it's often overlooked. And I just want to make sure that our peeps, our community is aware of how critical it is, and that, as anal as it sounds, you know, oh, Marie, I got to do keywords. You know, I just hate writing down keywords. Keywords are amazing because keywords help you with NAICS. It helps you with the DSBS. And as our peeps will find out, Allie, come October, they'll see how those keywords also come into play when it comes to capability statements. And oh, one thing, I have some sad news. I know everybody was looking forward to our PTAC day in September, on September 15. I just want to let everyone know that that has been postponed at this point in time because of the uptake of COVID. We're temporarily postponing that event. It will be held in the future once everything kind of settles down with the whole wonky COVID thing. So we want everybody to stay safe and be healthy. And you can always, schedule appointments with us individually, for video chats and things like that. So I just wanted everyone to be aware that the September 15 date has been postponed. But and we'll be having great announcements on that when it does get rescheduled. We want to make sure that all of our teaming partners can participate as well. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Marie. We've got one more question that rolled in. Once companies are registered, one can find them by their NAICS codes, right?
Correct. I can find you by NAICS code, and I can find you by, if the contracting officer is getting really particular and they say, I want to make sure that the company has 2 NAICS codes, I can search by multiple NAICS codes. So you have to have 3. I can find you just by 1. Yep. But NAICS codes are critical. And why is that? Because the contracting officer, when they issue the contract, it will have a designated NAICS code. So when you're working in the federal arena, when said contracting officer will award or get ready to pre-award that contract to you, they will go to the DSBS to validate your certifications and also ensure that you have that NAICS code listed. So that's why it's also important that you have, when you're bidding on things, that you actually have that NAICS code in your profile.
Thank you. And I don't know if this, I'm going to read this and I hope it makes sense to you. If not, who typed it, you might have to rephrase it. Filing taxes with the IRS, we enter our business code. It's not transferred automatically to the NAICS website. Question mark.
I'm not following that one, Allie. I know you have a tax ID number when you get, you're going to be filing that with DMV, and then you're going to get your DUNS number, and then you would do your, that's part of your SAM registration. But I'm not following that one.
Okay. I think the gentleman's name was Pierre. That might be something to follow up within that email that Marie's going to send out. You might just want to clarify that when she sends the email. You can ask her that one-on-one and actually ask what you want to, and hopefully I'm not botching it. So Marie, we don't have any other questions coming in, so I think it's safe to say that we are done. Thank you everybody for attending. Marie, thank you for this wealth of knowledge, quite the in-depth dive, lots of information. And if anybody has questions, we will be following up with you. If you would like to meet with Marie or attend additional training, all the information will be sent to you this afternoon. There's Marie's contact information on the screen. If you want to get in touch with her. Otherwise, I think that is it. Marie, thank you. Thank you everybody for coming, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yep. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.